Okay, cheers.
It's so hot. You've been milking it. Makes it colder. What's going on, guys? Cerebro here for T3G. Do something a little different today. This is my friend Celeste, and she is the proud owner of a Samsung Galaxy S5, right?
Yes.
And she
Yes.
used to have an iPhone, and
Yes.
a lot of you might be kind of considering going from iPhone to Android or vice versa. And I want to kind of talk to somebody who's gone through that procedure and what the differences are and how everything worked out.
Alright. Sounds good. Let's do it.
So you had an iPhone 4S, right?
Yes. Yes. Back in 2011, at the end of 2011,
Yeah, that was
when
a
it
while
was
ago.
all like fresh and fancy. I invested in the iPhone 4S and brought it home, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I really liked the interface and how intuitive it was, and also the fact that I had a phone from like 1997, so the fact that I could, access the internet, send text messages, group text messages, I'm easy to please. It was good. I really enjoyed it.
Excellent, excellent. I mean, you had a Mac at the time, so I mean, everything kind of works seamlessly together.
Yes. The original iOS was pretty seamless, as you say. Everything just sort of worked. There was a very short period of bringing myself up to speed, but the learning curve was really not that steep. For the iPhone, there basically, if you just press on something, or double click or double press, things happened and you sort of got used to it really quickly.
Gotcha. So then what made you change platforms? What made you change kind of directions? I mean, you sounded like you were having a good time with it.
Peer pressure, kids. You and our mutual friend, who has he been on the thing?
He was in the like a fraction
Was
of it.
he an ancillary thing?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what do we call our mutual friend? The mutual friend. Me.
The mutual friend.
You and our mutual friend.
Our friend.
We're really salty about me having an iPhone for a really long time. So there was that. But also in addition, I am technologically kind of experimental. I like to have I like to have different experiences. Not only that, but iOS 8, I think, when it first came out, was like, I don't even know what this is anymore. It was hard to use, and from what I heard, it was much like the Android interface at the time. So it was
Yeah, it did look a lot like Android.
Yeah, because there was the
similar.
swipe up screen that then had the camera, and then like the quick I want to say quick release, like it's a carabiner. The quick
Editing opportunities.
The quick, just put the bar over my mouth. It's fine. I forgot this is for the kids. The quick access to applications. It was a lot like the Android interface. So based on duress and also the fact that I was kind of looking for.
There was
something
very
new,
little duress.
that I decided that it was going to be a good investment. Not only that, but I was also finding myself. So I don't know about you guys or you. But I like to check my Facebook in bed, or look at Instagram or whatever before I go to sleep, as just sort of a way to wind down, even though science says that that's really bad for you. So I found myself with the tiny little screen for the iPhone like this, trying to read stuff. And looking at pictures was not that bad, because the screen was just large enough to really give you a good idea of the photograph itself, but actually reading an article, this far away, guys, it was not cool. So I really wanted the larger screen. Also, too, there were some applications that you and our mutual friend had that I was interested in. One of them being Evernote, which is available for iPhone, but it supposedly works better on Android. So because I wanted
I tried it a couple times. Yeah, it works pretty well
less.
for me.
Yeah. So.
Nice.
I think those are all the reasons.
So what's kind of been the biggest positive switching platforms? What's been the best thing about going to Android for you? It's delicious coffee.
Yeah, it's good. It's like what was it, Chapel? Apple flavored coffee. Didn't know it added chocolate. Chapel coffee.
Chapel coffee. Mine's just apple with non-dairy creamer, so it's super hot. Like we put milk in it.
So he's dying right now.
Yeah, burning my tongue.
I would, the hardest thing, probably just getting used to how much functionality I have, as bad as that is to say. Apple doesn't really give you a lot of choices. It's very much like a streamlined technology that is meant to work for every single person. And so because of that, they have found one way, and usually it is the best way, to do one thing on their system, and that's it. There is room for deviation, but you have to really know the technology itself to figure out any other way other than the streamlined way that they provide you with. With the Android, it's completely customizable. It's so customizable, in fact, that pretty much I didn't waste it, but I spent 2 days just pressing buttons and getting used to it and like, what is this gonna do type thing. So yeah, functionality, just the customization and the ability to sort of really make it my phone as opposed to an iPhone.
I like that. That's a good way of phrasing that. What's something that you miss about the iPhone platform?
Oh, the fact that it just works. Like, I am by nature somewhat of a lazy person. Like, I don't typically like to... Sometimes the level of options is overwhelming. Like, I get to the point where I just want to do something, but the capability to make like 3 or 4 decisions before actually doing what I originally wanted to do is paralyzing, because I am one of those people. I'm a sheeple sometimes. It's bad. So I do miss just being able to like touch of a button and it works and it goes. With this, it's like touch of a button. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Are you sure you don't want to do it this other way? Yes. Do you want to do this as well? Ah, come on! And then, you just, I'm going to close this and put it away and walk away. So that's the hardest thing, for sure.
I definitely understand that. I constantly, if I want to restart this, it's like, hold the button down, push the restart. The device will now restart. Yeah, I know, I pushed the restart, so I definitely understand that.
And with this one, the waterproofing, although it's gone because I'm clumsy, there's supposed to be a little toggle there that covers the super awesome multi-power system plug-in deal USB thing. It's awesome, check it out. There's probably a technical term for that.
3.0 adapter.
There you go. So there was a waterproofing thing over it, and so every time you unplug it, it's like, hey, make sure you plug in that toggle thing so it's still waterproof. And like the first time, I was like, oh, cool, thanks, phone. And so I, covered it and everything was good. But then I didn't realize that it wasn't a function of the fact that the phone was new, and I also can't turn it off. So every time I unplug it, it's like, hey, make sure your phone's still waterproof. And now it's adding insult to injury because I broke my phone. So I can't even do it. I'm like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. I'm moving on now. Yeah.
Nice. So, what about like connectivity with your computer? Because you still had a Mac when you got this originally, right? Or no? Is that switched already?
I think we switched it already.
Okay. So then...
because I still had an iPhone when I started grad school.
Okay. So, going from an iPhone connected to your PC to an Android connected to your PC, how's that been different?
So much different. I used to be a big Apple fan, not gonna lie. 2009 was the year of the Apple for me. I definitely invested in a lot of Apple products, and I still think they're great. An Apple to an Apple device is seamless. You plug it in and it's like, oh hey, there's your phone, and we're automatically gonna start syncing some stuff, and here's some other things that we're gonna make available to you to put on if you want, but no worries if not. And then a PC to an Android device. So is that Android to Android now?
No, it's still PC.
Okay.
Windows.
Fair. Okay. So an Android hooked up to a PC is, again, customizable, but I find that it's somewhat faster, but it could also be that I have just fewer things to upload and or download between the two. But again, it's very much like a, hey, I noticed you have something plugged in here. What would you like to do with it? And you, okay, open with this. So then it opens, and they're like, all right, so what else do you want to do with this?
Right.
So, I mean, it creates a large amount of control, but it also it's very clicky. I have to click a bunch of stuff in order to achieve what it is that I want to do.
Sure, definitely makes sense. And I suppose my last question would be, overall, are you happy with your decision to switch to an Android?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I would give, okay, so I would give Apple as a whole probably like a B+. There's some things that I would change. The fact that they change things so quickly. Also, come on, guys. Come on. Really? You created an iOS and it just doesn't work. Like, you had to take all that stuff back and then roll it all out again. That sucked. So I give Apple like a B+, but this I would say is comparable, but for different reasons. So it's a B+, almost an A-, if only because as I get used to the customization of it, I find that I like it more just because I can make it, my own.
Sure.
So I would say my experience overall is better with Android, but only because I'm kind of a control freak.
Fair enough. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I've got an iPod now, and it's one of those things where I want to do a couple things, and I'm like, nope, switching to the phone because I can control that.
You know what I do miss? There's a lot fewer creative apps for Android.
Okay.
A lot of because Apple is pretty much tailored for the creative culture. There's so many more applications for photo editing and things of that nature on iOS rather than Android. With Android, it's very much like a reference tools and organizational tools, Evernote, all things of that nature. So I really enjoy it now that I have a full-time job. I'm in school full-time. We freelance. Like, there's all kinds of different things that we're doing. So as an organizational tool, this one definitely wins. But as a creative tool, definitely Apple for sure. There's just more to do with it, and there's more free applications. So that's also a positive thing. Although I am exploring more with Android and how the creative applications are structured and also what they do. I just feel that there are more options with iOS.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. Well, thank you for your time.
Well, you're welcome.
Thanks for joining us here on T3G. Well, this is Cerebro for T3G with our special guest Celeste, and that rhymes.
Celeste the best? Yes, I am.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, check out T3GTech.com, and of course we got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff, and we got that winter contest going on, so make sure you guys check that out. We're taking submissions through the end of January, so yeah. Got all the social media.
We're gonna have to get on that.
All the social media. Thanks for watching, guys.